Well, what can I tell you about the Knolly Warden LT that I'm riding right now? Well, let's start with some of the basics. This is a size medium. As far as spec goes, it's pretty bling. Knolly tend to sell their bikes as frames and then with sort of build kits. This has got a very bling build kit. We've got the factory Fox 36 up the front, Fox DX2 shock at the back. That gives us a total of 170 millimeters of travel at the front and 168 at the back. Group set. This we've got SRAM XO, SRAM G2 brakes. It's an aluminium frame. They do a carbon version. Right, what else can I tell you about this bike? Oh, it's that nice little chute there. Well, this is a 27.5 version. The LT just comes in 27.5. You might notice looking at it some kind of unusual aspects to this frame. I've never really ridden a bike that's had what I would call an undercarriage before. If you have a quick look down there, check out, what's that all about? Well, I'll tell you what that's about. Knolly has a thing for very straight seat tubes, and that undercarriage down there means that if you have a look at that seat tube, you see how straight that is? That's a kind of a feature of Knolly bikes, that straight seat tube. What they can do, they can drop into that a full length dropper post, and the one that I've got on here is actually a 170mm dropper post. There's about a foot of insert space. I think the spec says it's 280mm of drop inside that seat tube. And that means I've got a 170mm seat post on here, which is exceptionally unusual for a rider of my height. So yeah, that undercarriage is a bit of a trademark for Knolly. I have to say, having that seat post so far down, I don't know whether you'll be able to tell on this trail. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the seat post right down and I'm going to sit down. Let's see what this looks like. I am so low on this bike right now. If you're a fan of getting the seat post way out the way for when things get a bit technical and squirrely, you're probably going to like this. What else have we got on this bike? Well, Knolly have a patented suspension system they call the 4x4. Not surprisingly, it involves 4 linkages at the back. Now, Knolly claim that this allows you to have totally unimpeded pedaling action no matter what you're doing. So when you're climbing, things firm up and you don't get it to bob. And when you hit the rough stuff, everything moves smoothly. It's a big claim. It's a big claim. What can I say about that? I can tell you about the climbing. It really does kind of lock solid when you're sat on the saddle and climbing. So the suspension on this section is, I'm feeling all of it. It's moving freely. It's doing what I want it to do. Oh yeah, landing to flat, no problem. On the climbs, it just seems to all firm itself up. Yeah, so pretty bold claims. So far, so good. I've been riding it here in Whistler. We're just dropping down really a green route at the moment, which means that I stand a reasonable chance of being able to talk to you guys while I'm riding. But we've been taking it out of the park. We took it for a ride up in the hills around the mountains around Pemberton, on some black routes around there. I think it was a trail that we rode earlier this week. What was it called? Cream Puff. That was what it's called. It's called Cream Puff. Check out, I think I've got some footage for you here. Check this out. This is Cream Puff. That's so good. Now what about geometry and things like that? Well, I'm running it right now with about 65 point something degree head angle. I think it's about 65.4. But if you look down there, there's a bolt that you can swap around, and that actually, as you can see from the label, that makes things slacker. You can take this down to 64 degrees. This is a size medium. The reach on this medium is 475 millimeters. And like I said, the standover on this is really low. Forgive me, I don't know exactly what it is right now, I've forgotten it. But let's just say that when Knolly say this is long, low, slack, they're not kidding. So okay, what about some of the downsides to this bike? Well, I guess you could argue there's an awful lot of linkages going on there, and that's an awful lot of things to look after. Also, for us Brits, distribution is being sorted in the UK right now, but at the moment it's kind of a direct thing, and I mean, Knolly said they're more than happy to ship bikes over, and they do ship bikes to customers direct in the UK, but it does mean you're buying it in dollars, and right now we could argue that's not the best time to be buying anything in dollars. But apart from those, what else don't I like? Well, I don't know, the undercarriage takes a little bit of getting used to, but Christ, I can't see it. This is an interesting gold colour, you'll either like it or not, but I'm talking about aesthetics here. The thing rides like a dream. You can ride cross country, you've got enormous amounts of travel. I'm not sure what's not to like, really. Oh, it's making mincemeat out of these braking bumps. Now this fork is quite immense. There's braking bumps coming into these turns because we're at the what's called officially the shoulder season. So it is, excuse me while I jump in the air a lot. It is kind of the end of the season, and so the trails aren't in the best condition, so there's a lot of braking bumps. But this 170mm Fox Factory 36 is just dealing with them so smoothly. Yeah, those are quite big ones. Welcome to Blueseum. Oh look, some Canadian woodwork. I've been riding in the park here for 2 days on a rather large 200mm fork on a GT Fury, and to be honest, I'm not really slowing down much, having switched. Wow, nearly killed that chipmunk there. I've not really slowed down much on this. Whoa. Oh, Jimmy! Whoa! Swooping! Well, that was a test of this fork on braking bumps. Those were about as severe as I've come across in the park so far this week. I think they took the forks to the limit, but I didn't have to back off. I managed to keep my speed, and the forks just took them in its stride. Yes, I think I'm falling in love, ladies and gentlemen. Until Knolly get a UK distribution source, I guess it's going to be one of those long distance relationships. Oh, what a rush.